I want to talk first about the problem that comes into our life when we think it's just something that the Holy Spirit does in us. And I want to call that problem super-spiritualism. What are manifestations of super-spiritualism? Well, let me give some kinds of examples. Perhaps sometime you're in a group where you know there's different kinds of personal relationship problems. There's tensions and difficulties of one sort or another. Then somebody will say, let's not talk about it. Let's just pray about it. If we just turn to the Lord, those problems will go away completely. Now, I believe it's very important to pray about personal relationship problems. And I believe that if you turn to the Lord will really help. But it becomes super-spiritualism when a person is really unwilling to confront that problem as a human problem, when they're unwilling to recognize human conflict and to deal with it in a spiritual way. When all we ever do is pray about it, and we're never willing to confront it and work it out in the Lord, then something is going on that's just a little too spiritual for our good. Or another example is in guidance. A little while back, somebody came to me and said, the Lord told me that He doesn't want me to work anymore, but He's going to take care of all my needs. And I asked the person why the Lord wanted them not to work anymore. And the answer I got was, I don't know that. The Lord doesn't want me to ask questions like that. The Lord just wants me to trust Him. Well, that was just a little too spiritual for me. I think there's times that the Lord really does tell us things that don't make sense. But if we can't discuss the guidance the Lord's giving us, if we can't really seek about that guidance in an authentically human way, it can be a little too spiritual for our own good. Or another example of it is people getting married sometimes. I know of an example, in fact I know of a bunch of them, of two young people who came and told me one day that the Lord told them that they were to get married, and they were going to do it in a month. They'd met each other about 2 weeks before, but the Lord just marvelously put them together. Well, I wouldn't want to say that the Lord never marvelously puts people together. But there is such a thing as a natural human process of two people coming together in a way that builds a solid, strong marriage. And these people didn't go through it. They did get married, and they had very serious troubles for the next 2 or 3 years. And I don't know that they still aren't having them. The process was just a little bit too spiritual to really be something that the Lord's hand was in. There's a lot of other things like that. Super-spiritualism sometimes manifests itself in being unwilling to accept discipline in personal relationships. Sometimes you hear people say, all we should do is accept one another just the way we are. That's the loving spiritual thing to do. And while it's certainly true that we need to accept one another, there does have to be a natural, spiritually human process of working out difficulties in our relationships and working out things that are wrong in you and things that are wrong in me. And we have to be able to speak to one another about it. Or another approach that sometimes we hear in terms of our spiritual problem, our personal problems. Sometimes you'll hear people say, just turn to the Lord with that problem, and the Lord will take it away.